Hello, welcome back. Uh, we're back at the scene of the fun. We're doing this EverCraft kata, and it's a thing. So we've been going through this the past couple of weeks, just kind of going through the kata, through figuring out how we would implement certain requirements using specifically reactive paradigms. So gonna just jump right back into the mix. I think last time we were talking about classes, and we reduced the class requirement, and we may have created the abstraction too soon. This is where it gets fun. We reduced the class requirements down to a set of modifiers, like the things that a class provides, right? Because a class is a character has a class, which means it's a composition relationship. So these are less so like a class is really just a set of modifiers, a set of predetermined modifiers on top of a character, and those modifiers are things like hit points, attack damage, critical rolls, and and then special abilities and alignment. So right now, I think the last time we finished, and let me go ahead and close all the things that are pinned. Yeah. The last time we finished off, we were looking at this I modifier of T class of I character. And I think I didn't like where we ended up. I'm pretty sure I don't like where we ended up, or was feeling. Okay, yeah, I remember what it is. I felt like it taking in too much information at the time versus when it was getting injected might have been a problem. So, this ability factory. Why are we taking in the ability factor? Oh, this has to. Oh. We created a specific composition of a monk character, so that way we would have the monk class on it. Again, I'm not sure I even like this concept, but I think we left off. We were going to let the unit tests dictate the API surface. So I think I'm going to start off by looking at what unit tests we had last time. So we had monk tests. I think we were trying to verify just the monk requirements. And then after we verified the monk requirements, we were going to go back and try the same pattern on top of another class and verify that the pattern will at least work across classes based upon the majority of the requirements, right? And then we can just go through and implement each one, and we can kind of figure out what the API service is going to look like from there. So digging in, I've got... Sorry, 1 second. Move this stuff around, shuffling stuff in my desk. All right, so the monk. Let's put these side by side real quick so we can just look and verify the. So we verified that the monk has 6 hit points per level instead of 5, right? So when it's constructed, the monk. Character has hit points. That's not testing that. It's testing the modifiers as a hit point modifier. It's not testing the actual application. So why do we do this? When constructed, the character has. Okay, when constructed, a monk. And okay, when given a monk. There we go. Oh wait, no. Because you're not giving anything if it's being constructed. Derp. Has hit point modifier. I needed to be explicit in what it's testing. Otherwise, I'm going to have false positives in my tests. So given a monk, when the hit point modifier is called, then it should return the modifier. So it should return the... No, when the modifier is called, it should return the modified... Oh, okay. It's not actually mutating it. That's just weird. The language on this is going to drive me crazy. So and I know we're implementing the business terms, and the business terms are what they are, but sometimes business terms drive me nuts because it's like it doesn't really represent what it is you want me to represent, and there's a more specific word that will represent it. But okay, here we go. And this is what we didn't like. We didn't like having to take in the character here in order to produce the modifier out. So monk character starts with 6 hit points. Okay. Monk character starts with hit points. It gets, you can create a new class, I would assume. So the class gets set equal to new monk. You have abilities. The monk has on it a list of modifiers, so we can get the modifier out. So I think that's what we were. So when constructed has hit point modifier. So that means that the modifier should contain a hit point modifier. Given when given a monk, when the hit point modifier is called, then it should return the modifier, but it's not. Okay, so it should return the modifier value. Let's fix the spacing on that. Let's move this. So here we're just testing the monk construct. We're not actually testing like the character class. Did we actually make any character changes? No, but we do have this character here. So we do have a monk character. So this is the fixture that we're using to create a monk. I have a feeling like I'm going to write all this code and want to rip it out, but I guess it's kind of part of the whole reason why you do this exercise is so that you can see how you implement this thing and then go back and implement it better the next time. So, this is all in the spirit of learning. And okay, so this thing doesn't need. Why do we? Okay, this is where it gets weird. Because we have a thing. System under test dot modifier dot first. So we don't really want that. So this is where it gets weird. Okay, so really what we want to do is this, because this is our thing. So really we want our var system under test to be that, because this is our monk character. But this is okay. This is just trying to test the API surface. This is where it gets weird, and we have this double duplicate. Okay, so the weird thing here is we've got the system under test, which is the monk, which is the class, which is the actual implementation of the. Yeah, we called it character class because of naming conflicts. So it's a monk because of the class. So we give it a monk. Or we look at the thing on a given monk, and then we have to pass in the monk in order to get it, but the character already has a monk on it, right? So like this is where it gets weird, and trying to test this API boundary is awkward, because I don't think that this modify should take in, right, to that point. So I guess a character has to have a class. And I think that that's something that I have to accept. Is that I'm going to have to... So what I was trying to do... Here we go. I like to try and live by extension. And I was trying to just extend this functionality and create this new base class and create this thing, which I think I can still do. Right? And maybe this isn't class character. Maybe this is just character with a T, right? So maybe you can create a character with no class. And then this is a character with a class, right? Okay, I like that. That's fine. That's better. It's already better. So this is a character. So we'll call this character the class. So this is where it gets weird. How do I designate that the class is a monk and the character is of that type? And give it a very specific name. Or do I have to accept that this is my API surface in my base app? No, because like this is just the base abstraction. It shouldn't matter. I should be able to define this abstract nonsense however I want. So what are we going to do? What should we do? All right, so I've got my character, and I've got an inheritor, which is my monk, which is... So I think I would rather call this a monk, because a monk... Okay, so... I'm having to take, like, the lens off of what I would think in terms of, like, an actual game and just focus on the requirements, and it's making my brain hurt, because I'm like, well... Because technically a character is a monk. Right? Like, if I was playing a video game and I rolled a character, that character would be a monk. And or no, okay, so it would be a character that would have a name, and I guess the class would be the monk. Right? So I would have to have a character of class monk. And I think this is fine. I guess I'll just keep calling it monk character for now, and then after it gets on my nerves for a little while, we'll figure something else out. Because, like, okay, we can override modify hit points, which is going to do stuff. So I think I built in hooks for cute stuff to do ridiculous nonsense. I think I did. Maybe I did not. Yeah, I did. Okay, so the level up system. Yeah, so execute level up allows you to do a series of events, and we're gonna process that series of events here in this execute level up. And I gave the ability for you to override the hit point modifier. So this is where it's gonna start to get weird, where we may not even need those modifiers because we may be able to get everything off the base extension. But we'll continue down the path and verify that our architecture actually does what we think it does, and see whether or not it's going to be clean. So now going back to our class tests, right? Because this is where it's going to start to get weird, because now we have character tests to verify character behavior, and then we're going to have monk. I just want to represent it as a monk and not in. All right. Let's not worry about that too much. Let's just get into the mix. So, going back to our tests and then looking at our requirements, right? So, it does 3 points of damage. I don't think we've covered that. But when level up, hit points has... Let's just take the business terms and put it right in the test names. That way... Let's go and look at fact and see what it does. So method, blah, 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 takes a display name. So we can put a display name. Perfect. We'll just put a display name. Display name equals that. Oh, that's awesome. That's weird. So now what I want to do is I want to take this and like write a camel case converter that it. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna go through any of that. It's not actually what I want or where I want it, but that's beside the point. So let's say here. Let's go back and say monk has 6 hit points per level. Ooh, I don't like the period at the end of that. I like that better. Oh yeah, we just found a new fun thing. We like this. Which is like, I've known how to do this for years. It's funny when you find stuff and like you don't play with it and you find it again and you're like, oh yeah, this has value now. So what is this thing saying is that we're saying that the display name is monk has a modifier. When constructed, the character has hit point modifier. Hmm. Yeah, see, this is gonna get weird. How do I want to represent that? Okay. Thinking on the fly is always so much fun. Um, Monk has hit point modifier. Yeah, that's what we like. Or returns. Okay, Monk returns one as hit point modifier, and then this can be paste. Monk has a hit point modifier. Right? So like I like this and I don't because like I want to test the surface of what the monk has, but I feel like I can just do all of this without this nonsense. I don't know that I need to create this construct at all. I think that I may be able to get away with not even having to bother, but let's keep going down the pipeline and see where we land, right? So let's just put some tests around the rest of this stuff. So does the to verify? So does 3 points of damage instead of one when successfully attacking? Okay, so now we have to find a way that this architecture is going to modify the attack roll, right? So let's go ahead and create a failing test that says monk does. Let's just rip out. Hey, it did it again. Because I know we're going to have to add more to this architecture later, right? So like I don't know how much generics I want to get into, but we're here and we can always pivot later. We can always pivot later. Here we go. Oop, oop, oop. Nope, I didn't get the copy correct. Okay, because it's doing fun stuff. So now I need to do that and that. And now if I hit copy and I go back and paste, now that should work. Monk does 3 points of damage instead of one when successfully attacking. Right, so here we would actually have to have, so this is more of a character. This is where like it's like an integration of two things, but like this is just a character with a class. And you're probably gonna have a race, which is also gonna have modifiers, which is why I was trying to create like a concept of like a modifier, but I don't know if that's gonna play in now or later, or if I can do everything in a base class with inheritance, or if I need to go a compositional route. But when it hits a point of critical mass, we will find out because the code will dictate everything to us. So, given monk, oh, it hides my test names, which is good and bad. Given monk, when successful. Because like okay, so let's actually go look at that real quick. Did our monk character actually even use the modifier? It didn't even use the modifier off of itself. Because then that would be a race and everything else, like a class and a race, yeah, would end up being there. Those would be the two things that a character has. So okay, that's fine for now. When successfully attacking, or when successful attack. Successful. Wow. Camel casing is a thing. Then does 3 points of damage. So now, let's just. I'm not even gonna worry about the truth of the matter. I'm just gonna test it out based upon my mocked character, and see if this goes the way I think it should go. Because I don't know if it's gonna go the way I want it to go. So let's find out. So I would have a character, and I want to do a dot attack, right? So there we go. Yep. I want to make an attack roll. No, I need an attack between two characters, because that's how our attacks work. So should we keep the monk? I feel like we should keep the monk tests in the boundary of here. Even though we're testing the attack, we're really testing the monk's behavior given an attack. So I'm going to keep it here, and I'm going to just do this. I'm going to say var attack equals new attack fixture dot with attacker. So the monk is going to attack. Defender. Who's he going to attack? Do we have another attacker? Do we create another persona yet? Oh, we started to create personas in our tests when we were doing the attack tests. So let's go look at those personas and see if we can extrapolate them and reuse them. Let's collapse some windows so we can see a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, here we created a concept of a bishop magic and a king hate. So much fun. Because, everybody loves, those haters. So let's actually go build out king hate real quick alongside Gyatso. So let's go ahead and do add class. We're just going to call him hate. Maybe we'll give him a special thing later. Let's just go do him the same way we did Gyatso, and let's just create him as a regular character, right? So let's just follow the pattern that we have in front of us until we find that it doesn't work, and then we'll find a new pattern. I think I can still create a character and a character fixture, and I can just give the guy a name. I don't want to give him a class, and I want to give him the name of... do some string interpolations. King we loves the string interpolation. Boom. Okay, so now we've got a character named King Hate. So the monk is gonna attack Hate. Oh man, if I make any random ridiculous political jokes or political jokes, talking about stuff like Captain Planet type jokes, please disregard. It's just the fact that I am a horrible comedian in my own right. There we go. So we've got an attack, and Gyatso is going to attack the hater, which means in this attack at the end. What metadata do we keep on the attack? We keep the attacker and the defender as public. We keep the attack roll. We don't keep the damage. So how do we... Oh, we have a way to test damage. We have a way to test this. We always have a way to test things, right? How do we test attack damage? So should apply strength roll. Should take minimum damage. Should take double damage. So we should be able to apply this same concept. So, okay, we have to do this as part of the character fixture. So I have to give you the ability to provide that through the Gyatso stuff. That's going to be weird. So let's... On the monk itself... Oh, here's the fun. I actually want to project Gyatso as a fixture that I can build off of and just give a static point. Okay, there we go. That's what we'll change. We will change you to a character fixture, which is going to break the world. Why are you yelling? Inconsistent accessibility prototype. Yeah, that's exactly what you would say when you're Too smart for your own good. We'll just make Yatsu an internal class because like we don't really care about sharing him with the world. We just want him for testing. He's gonna be our test avatar. So let's go do the thing. Back over here. So like now we can just give it a with a roller. So we can do this. We can tell how much it is, and we should be able to do. We can verify that the defender took 2 points of damage. We can't verify that the. Let's do that. Again, we've got patterns in front of us. Let's continue down the rabbit hole until we find out that we actually need to change stuff before we start. Because like, one of the things that I'm always like very cautious of is coding to the boogeyman. That big bad boogeyman where this feels like it may be a problem or this could be wrong, but we don't never know. Like, let's put it up and let's throw rocks at it like after it's actually been built, and then verify whether or not those rocks take it down. And then if there's a couple dings, we buff them out. If it takes an entire piece of the structure out, then we rip it out and we realize it just wasn't right. That's kind of the whole thing about failing fast that I think that people don't do enough of or appreciate well enough. Is like, failing fast is not this global concept where everything just magically works all the time. It's a really significant concept where you have to invest in loss. You have to be able to say, I've invested enough in this strategy and I'm going to pull out and make a change. And it's not always easy to do. And you can do it at a high level, you can do it at a low level, right? You can do it at the component level. Like, we could realize that whole dice roll rant that I went on is completely and totally wrong in like another couple sessions. And, okay, well, now we know. Can we continue or do we need to refactor? We'll figure that out when we get there. All right, so we'll get some substitutes in here for the die roller. We'll import the reference. I think we just want it to be a moderate roll. We don't want it to be anything ridiculous. We just want it to be enough that it beats King Hate. Gyatso dot with roller. Dot with roller. That. Okay, so that's the thing. So the attack. So what we're going to say at the end of it is that Hate's character. Ooh. This gets weird. I actually don't want to do that. I want him to come as a full built thing. So I'd have to do some level of caching behind the scenes. I would have to create a No, it's going to create that thing once. And we're presenting it the character fixture. Okay, yeah, I think this is fine. I think I'm just worrying about stuff that I don't need to worry about. Let's get back some real estate. And let's drop some stuff around. So if I'm right, I should be able to do, but I'm not right because it won't convert it. So yeah, that does need to be that way. Okay. Yay, I just realized that I'm wrong and that I can't do the thing that I want to do. So now instead what we'll have to do is allow you the ability to tack on things after the fact, or do we just want... Because it's going to build it statically, which means it's going to build it once. So maybe we can't do it this way. Or maybe we just have to accept the fact that we actually have to set Gyatso as a variable in this test. I think that's fine. We just have to set the monk as a variable in this test when we build him, and I think that'll be okay. Because that's just that's a point in time. Yeah, it's a point in time, so that'll work. So that's the character that we want, and then we need to do the same thing for this character. Oh no, yeah, we're gonna end up doing the same thing here too. So we'll call him The attacker, we'll call him var defender, that guy, and our defender. Ooh, no. We need to make that a monk character. Yeah, I have a feeling the entire concept of that is going to change shortly, but what do I know? Attack. Okay, so we've got this attack, the defender. So now we're going to pass the defender in here, and this will be the defender dot hit points should be 2. Right, because we're taking a base level monk Gyatso, and we're yeah, that'll work. Okay, so this is weird, actually. Because I actually want to see this thing fail, but I think it's gonna fail anyway. I think it's gonna fail anyway. Attack. Oh, the attack just happens, right? When I do the thing. So let's just run the test. Run the test. And see what happens. Oh, can't convert from the thing. Inaccessible thing. Definition. Ooh, I picked up IL viewer. Not what I wanted to do. Alright, so that just means that we need to do this. Introduce variable, replace 2 occurrences, monk. Let's put it as a monk character. Wow. Moments when Rider does not help me do what I want to do, or I don't know how to use Rider well enough for it to do what it's supposed to do. It's probably more an accurate statement. Given that, so now we're going to do a win statement. Yay, we're breaking up our tests. Let's grab that bit and let's go up here. Oof. Not at all what we want to do, but we do want the monk. Let's just call him a monk. And let's put... I have a feeling that that test is brittle and doesn't actually do anything, so we're going to end up ripping this test out anyway. I have a very, very keen feeling that's what's going to happen. Because like this should actually just be this, right? Monk dot class dot modifiers. So we shouldn't need that. That at least proves that the modifier is there. But we're not actually running a modifier yet. So the attack has to happen. And now this thing should run, yeah? Oh no, our test failed. Expected value to be 2 but found 4. What does that mean? That means that when the monk did the damage, when the damage was done, there was no modifier taken into account. So this is probably why we did the... Okay. Further down the road, back to bad requirements, bad implementations of requirements, yeah. Attack roll, character. So successful attack roll, character gains stuff, attack roll modified. When property value changes, where do we set that value? Oh, that's a observables property helper, so that gets set here. So the attacker attacks, and we cache the attack roll. So so the attack is something that happens on the character, which we have access to. Yay! So we'll go here, and we'll find where it's used. Attacker.attack, character tests. We are probably going to have to change the API surface so that we now have the ability to override this. Either that, or we are going to look at the class on. We're going to move this functionality to the character class. This is going to start getting weird. Because, yeah, this gets back to, like, now I'm at the point where I was earlier, where you're not going to be able to have a character without a class. I was trying to create a bridge to get there, but I don't think we can do it the way I'd like. So let's go back and see if... Right, because, yeah, every character will have to have a class designation, right? I don't know if there's a way around that. Or if I want to get into setting values from other places, right? Because that's the attack happens here. So we would want this to happen up a level. So let's just make this virtual for the moment. And then let's go to the monk. That's the wrong ones. Let's remove that. I have a feeling I'm not even going to end up using that. Which is good, bad, and different, doesn't matter. Somehow it was open twice. Where is that on my bar of stuff? Oh. Let me put this out into its own class. And go back to this and pin this thing. There we go. All right, so I could then at this point just... So I wanted to do this more compositionally, but right now this is becoming an inheritance chain. So I'm gonna see if I can't flip this on its head later. But for the moment, let's prove that things work, and let's get it working, and then we can always come back later and do the thing, right? So like really what we want is the base thing to just run some modifier on top of the attack, or provide a modifier to the attack. So if character is of type, or better yet, just if character. If the class has a modifier, run the modifier is really what we want. What we're doing instead is doing an inheritance stack. So I'm not going to worry about that too much for the moment. At the moment, I'm just going to go ahead and say that we can do an observable.return, but execute attack. Yeah, how does that get? Ooh, okay. We could just inject the attack modifier like right there. So let's not even do this here. Let's do this up a level. Let's see if we can do this all in the grandiose scheme of stuff, right? So we override it, and then we would do. But if we do the, we could return the base plus the modified. So we could really just do return base. Well, let's get the IntelliSense to generate it for us because it makes it easier. All right, so return base plus class dot what is on a character class? Right now, nothing. How is that possible? I character, T character, where... Oh, the funkiness of the inheritance model sometimes gets me. All right, so that what we're saying is it has to be of I character class, but we didn't give it a... Oh, I feel like this should be here, right? Because that's what we are. That's what we're defining it as. So here we go. So we've defined the modifiers as I modifier of modifier. So now we should be able to get access when we were back. Where were we? We were here. So now we should be able to get access to the class dot modifiers dot. Let's see. Let's do the first. That assumes that there is an attack modifier, but let's just assume for the moment that there is, because we're dealing with one that we know there is, and we can deal with it blowing up later. X dot. I know right now there's a Again, what's going on? We are not adhering to proper interface segregational stuff. Where's the inheritor of this? Is a monk hit point modifier. Oh, we did that on purpose because we didn't know how this was going to go. Yeah. So it's not high enough up the chain. We need the thing. So that means we need this thing to be an... Oh, it is not a modifier of monk. So what does that I modifier of T class provide us? It provides us a modify method where we pass in the character class. Is that not right? Is that not the API surface that we just looked at? Like, I'm really confused here. I modifier has that thing. Are there two I modifiers? Did we do the... Oh. Okay. We did smart stuff so that way we could try and expand it later, and now we're not getting... Okay. That means we need to change these. This is going to be character modifiers. Okay. And I have a feeling I did this because I didn't want to do this last time, but I'm going to do it this time just because now these modifiers are going to be character modifiers. This should be an I character. Oh man, if I could spell, I guess I can. I guess I am to awesomes, yeah? I character modifier. Oh, I didn't take the namespace off. I was like, why didn't the IntelliSense give me the thing? Take the namespace off and it'll all work. Okay, so now that works. I pass in T is not assignable to parameter type. Yeah. So this is where we get into it. I actually, yeah, okay, so I've come to that full circle now. I actually do not want it to produce. Okay. So I don't want it to take in this character because like we're not actually doing anything with it. We just want to project a modifier, but it doesn't actually modify anything. It is I am a modifier, and this is my value. I mean, yeah, I'm a character modifier, and this is my value. This is the thing by which I modify. Okay, that's fine. Sure, whatever. This goes away because we weren't using it anyway. Great, that becomes a very simple thing. This now goes away. Wait. Copy, go to... Oh, okay, fine. Learn from our mistakes. Character modifier. Boom, there we go. So we got a character modifier. The hit point modifier now does the other modifier. This is now this. Oh, I didn't fix that. Of course. All right, so this is just going to return its modification value, which this is starting to shape up a little bit better. So now if I go back to my character and oh, I can do dot select x dot value dot first. So the attack is returns. Oh, the attack returns the roll event. So so we'd have to do the full thing. So we couldn't just call the base. We'd have to completely and totally change the behavior, which is fine. I think the way the base is doing is it's returning an observable. Let's do it this way, because I want to play with this API surface more personally, so you guys can sit here and watch me fumble through this. Dot create roll event, right? And we'll have some observer. Nope. We'll have some observer of that roll event, and then we will do that, and we will say new. Okay. Observer dot on next new roll event. It will be a roll from the underscore. Oh no! Wait, no, I have access to it. Oh, it's just not underscore. It's just called die roller. Roller. What do we call the property that thing is set to? How quaint. Oh, it is truly something I can't get to. Do I care if consumers of this access it directly, or do I want to put like so part of me thinks now that the roller itself should be responsible for returning the event. And I know that this wasn't part of the kata, which is why I haven't done it, but I'm thinking that the roller should actually return the event itself, so it can construct the entirety of the event. No, because then how would you? You'd have to give it a character in order for it to be able to do the roll, because you'd have to know the modifiers, which I guess wouldn't be bad, right? Like if I give you a roller, the character is rolling, so I give you the character that's rolling, the roller, and then you get an event back. That wouldn't be the end of the world. But I'm not going to get into that today. I think I'm just going to go ahead and be a bad developer and copy and paste some quotes. All right, so we're going to want on next this. That's our on next. This will automatically allow us to make it protected. That's fine for the moment. class modifier first, return value method pure not used. Yep, we'll take that. And we'll say, oh wait, we will construct a role event. The strength modifier plus the class modifiers dot, oh wait, first we don't want to select the value. We want to do dot where x is I attack modifier of t. Let's just do the first one, first or default will give us that. So we'll take this and we will introduce a variable and we will say this is the class attack modifier, and we'll take the it's the class attack modifier, and we will call the class attack modifier dot value, get the value. Should we just expect everybody in the system to have an attack modifier? So this would be the easy thing to do. Yeah, the easy thing to do would be give every piece of the subsystem the same thing and just allow it to execute a method and keep moving. I personally don't like that because I feel like now we're violating like solid principles and we're allowing things to do things that they don't care about, and I think that that's wrong. So here we know that that's an attack modifier. We expect you to have an attack modifier, and if, I mean, we could just do it in inline. Oh wait, no, we can't. We cannot. All right, so we can do it here. Class attack modifier. Then we can do question mark dot value there, and then here. Or 0. So that'll at least get it to shut up and let us prove that we can do the thing. Observer dot completed, and then we will do a return disposable dot empty, right? So there we go. So now we've successfully modified the attack role. This is kind of ugly, but I'm sure it might work. Maybe, I don't know. But let's make it even uglier by making those three things. Let's do this. Let's actually change the API surface. We're doing things. So let's change the API surface of this. Oh wait, no. This is taking in the strength. You could just get it to take in all the modifiers and do the calculation internal, right? Like, let's do magic stuff. Where we have another constructor, right, that would have the role, that would have the, let's call this the strength modifier, right? And then we would have the int class modifier, right? And then we would have the int, not in, level modifier, right? So those are the various modifiers that we are now aware of, right? So now we can do our same jazzmatazz here. Oh, yep, we can do that. That's easy enough. So we can take the strength modifier and add it to the class modifier and add it to the level modifier. And I'm not sure if this works correctly. Oh, this might need to be done per... Ooh, I might want to create a function for this. Actually, as a matter of fact, I am going to create a function for this. This is just an integer, yes. Let's create it on a character. No, let's not do that just yet. Let's wait. Let's verify that this works, and then we'll get into writing more code. The point is to write less code, not more code. So less code it is. So now we've got the attack roll. So this should be easy enough. Fighter does not implement I class modifiers. Well, that should be easy enough. Boom. I character. Womp, womp, womp. Womp. All right, let's make that T. I think I just created a circular reference. This is going to be awesome. Nope, I didn't. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Here's my monk. I just forced you to have... Oh, I don't want to do that. Character modifier of T. Where T... Oh, I have to do it before that, I think. Hold on. Do it like here. I don't think I can do it. I can't. I'd have to put it on a... I'd have to make a method out of it. Character class T. Where... T just has a list of modifiers. Why did I break that? Why did I do that to myself? Modifier is going to be on a class. I character class now needs itself in order to be able to dictate it. The modifier has to be class modifier. Naming things is hard. Bike shedding is real. Class modifier, where that's a character class, right? So now we're going to have an I attack. And you are yelling at me because you want to add a constraint, but that constraint is that you would be yourself. And that just goes all the way back down the hole. So, okay, we've got some thinking to do. These modifiers belong on a character class, right? But we want to dictate the class that they belong on. So if we just broke this down to a class modifier and it didn't have to have a class, because now I don't think it does. I don't think it cares. Now it's just, I'm a class modifier, I return a value. Yeah. I am a class modifier and I return a value. I don't care what the specific type is. Right, so like, yeah, now I'm just a list of, there we go. Clicking buttons, clicking buttons, clicking buttons. Stop clicking the buttons. All right, so let's go back and fix all the things we broke. But yeah, I think I was trying to go too far down the composition path. Okay. That goes away. So I can come back and do that later, but for the moment, I think I'm just going to stop and quit while I'm ahead, yeah? And go through and resolve all these wonderful errors. Hit point modifier, right? Hit point modifier. And now comes the fun part, right? Because we're refactoring, because we're refactoring everything, we have tests in place that will verify that we are hopefully only breaking the minimum amount of stuff. Hopefully. I mean, it doesn't always work out that way, right? Like sometimes you'll refactoring, you'll break a whole bunch of stuff. That's kind of the nature of refactoring, and you accept that. But the more stuff you have in place to keep you from breaking it, I feel like the better it is. So we'll just put that there for now, and we'll set everything right. And then we'll come back here and we will run our unit test. And we just went like around in a circle just to get like for an hour to get a test that's still failing. Yep. Where are you breaking? Where in your observable pipeline are you breaking? Concurrency scheduling, invoking. Uh-oh. That's thread scheduler stuff. Character line 123. Oh, closure allocations, my old friend. Shucks. Oh, wow, we didn't even need this anymore. We got rid of the need for that because we put that code in. Okay, we're still getting an error, and it's probably still in the same place. Often the reactive command has error, thereby breaking its observable pipeline. To prevent this error, ensure the pipeline does not. Yay, we are good at the thing. So I think I'm getting closer to what I want this API service to look like. I think I'm realizing now that that whole monk class thing is just bogus. And now the class can be reduced to just a list of modifiers on the character if we really want it to be, right? Like we don't even have to give it a generic type information. It can just be a thing that exists. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Attack line 29, 29, 29, 29. Boom. Let's go ahead and put a breakpoint. Let's debug. Oh, so the observable pipeline thing, what you notice is I added this test base. Under the hood, this test base just adds my default exception handler. So that way I get fidelity into stuff like this. Where are we breaking? Where did we break? Is there an inner exception? Nope, no inner exception. Stack trace tells me that we broke. Character line 123. Go to character. Uh-huh. You see that? You see that? We need to give it a default value somehow. So it's going to need an instance of the character class. Here we're going to do class equals character class, right? And then we're going to go to the monk character, and I'm cheating to use that to get back to it, but I can undo Gyatso, undo the modifier. I think we're going to throw the entire modifier concept. No, I think we just fixed it actually, so we'll be fine. We're going to come back to that because we did that because we were cheating. So now this thing should have a class at the time it goes to read the observable and not blow up. There we go. Expected value to be 2 but found 4. So we still haven't fixed our test. Dun dun dun. Roll. You see what happened there? I see what happened there. Do you see what happened there? Because I see what happened there. This thing needs to take the comma. Now, with all that newfangled information, when I run this test, the monk will have hit points. So apparently I'm still bad at this. Right, so now we're at least... Oh, modified. Value to be 2, but found 4. When the attacker attacks, execute attack. All right, we're gonna debug this unit test to completion, and then I think I'm gonna take a break for the day. I got some other stuff I gotta run and get into. Attack roll. Roll event. The modified value is 15. I mean, that's not what we want. We don't want the modified value to be 15. So where? Let's back up. Let's go to the roll event. Let's put a breakpoint here. Let's stop this thing and let's rerun it and see what happens. This is why I like unit tests, because they give me such a tight feedback loop. Like, I can stop it, execute it without all the apps spin up. Strength modifier is 0. Class modifier is 0. So where is that being called from? That's being called from here. How is the class? You know what that tells me, right? Tells me we didn't add the attack modifier. New attack modifier. That's what that tells me. It tells me that we are missing a whole complete piece of functionality that should fix this problem. Private. Yeah, we'll do the same thing here. This way I can keep the... Yeah, yeah, that's exactly why I did this. Okay, so we're going to continue down this path because so far I like this pattern. We're creating the implementations as private. As it relates to the class that we're dealing with. Come on, work with me. Yeah, we could probably just do a class base and just do a virtual override at this point. There's not like a lot of magic there. And the attack modifier. Ooh. So the default is 1 point, and we know that that's the default of the system, so the modifier will be of 2. So now if we stop this thing and we run it again, we will light up with rejoice nonsense because cannot do type argument. Oh, that would have been a good indication. No best implicit type for the array. I class modifier, I attack modifier is an I class. It's an I enumerable of class modifiers. This is implicit. This is oh. I know why it's yelling at me because I use this. Now it needs to be implicitly typed. Okay, so we got the more unit test for the one thing. Yikes. And let's see if this is the wisdom modifier for the armor class in addition to dexterity. The attack roll is increased every second and third level. That one's going to be a little harder. I'm not going to bother with that one. That one's a difficult requirement, and I'm going to push back on the businesses and tell them they don't really need it. So adds wisdom modifier. So we have the first 2 tested as of now, right? I just want to close tab. If I light up all the monk tests should now light up green. This one. Yes, it does exist because the monk character has it because I put it there myself. Has an I character class, or I class modifiers. It's got one of hit point modifier. Where are you telling me that the object reference not set? Oh. Okay. We changed the monk character to take in the underscore character class. Huh? Oh, we don't allow you to pass it in. But we set it for you, right? Like we were smart enough to do that. Yeah, we set the character class here, so let's debug the thing and see what we broke. So at least we know what we broke. What we broke. It's a monk. That part works. Modifiers isn't set? That would seem weird. Because we're doing that in the constructor too. Never a dull moment, folks. Just when you think you're done. You run a unit test and everything breaks. Okay, that's done. Yeah, it would be the modifiers. The class is null. How is Gyatsu's... Gyatsu, what kind of stuff are you hawking? That's not even needed. Modifiers equals the new thing. Stop. What exactly did I miss there? Okay, so it's got something to do with this. We're returning this. I don't even think we can use anymore because we don't have the ability to send that information in anyway. That should work. Oh, that should be working. So let's take that. Let's go back to our character. Make sure I just set the value right here. Because like I see everything getting constructed. Even when I put a breakpoint here and I debug, this thing should have modifiers by the time that this is done. Oh, because the interface says so, huh? Well, the interface is annoying at the moment. All right, so these modifiers are going to return this. It's going to return an... So it has the hit point. Okay, so this is not an issue with it. Oh, we're not doing this with... Okay, so let's do var system under test monk equals an actual gyatsu dot character. Okay, so now we've modified our unit test to be more accurate around what our domain looks like. We should have 2 failing tests. Perfect. So this is an issue with us trying to create it on the character, and at the time that the class... And where are we getting this? We're getting it in... I just want to see what the value is at this point because I'm like, I don't believe it. Modifiers has a value. We are setting the character class, which has modifiers, which has the count. The class is null. How's that possible? We've constructed a character. How is it possible that the class is null? We watched it hit the place where it assigns the class, didn't we? A monk character is a character of type monk. Like reason 543 why inheritance starts to get on my nerves some days. All right, for the moment, what I'll do is set it right here. And then hopefully my unit tests will pass. And I can go. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Where is it now? Line 29. Attack roll. Modified. 3 points of damage. Debug. Debugger break. I think we're back to the original thing that we were dealing with. No. The stack trace tells me it's back at character line 123. So we're back to the same problem. How is it possible to construct a character without class modifiers? Like, this does not make sense. That's the constructor. I'm watching it construct the object. These are private classes, so they shouldn't matter. Hit point modifiers, attack modifiers, all that should be fine. But it should construct the thing first, right? Like, it's trying to use it, but it should construct it first. And that's what's tripping my mind. Like, I know exactly what a friend of mine would tell me right now. Rodney, you're not paying attention to the inheritance chain. Most derived, least derived. And he would tell me, Rodney, you should learn it. And I'd be like, yeah, you're probably right. I mean, that's actually exactly what's happening. Damn it. Okay, I don't feel like untangling that mess right now. I'll probably do that later. Hopefully I'll do that off stream before you guys have to see me next week. I think I've finally accepted the fact that this character is going to have a class. That class is going to have to be brought in as a constructor parameter. We're going to have to go through that whole rigmarole. So this is exactly what that problem is. It's because the class is not constructed at the time this thing fires. All right, so we're going to end this session today with broken unit tests, which is something we very seldom do. So next time, I think I'll have a better read on kind of what this needs to look like, and I'll kind of construct this object a little bit off stream maybe, and massage it into place and figure out if we can figure out where to go from there. But I do like the overall approach that we're taking now, where everything is inverted, and now we would have a centralized character, and it would just look for the list of modifiers that it would need in order to be able to do its job. I think that that's going to be a way better overall experience, because then we don't have to do as much polymorphic nonsense. We can just be like, hey, if it has this thing, run it. If it doesn't, then don't. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for me today. Thanks for tuning in.